how to create multiple columns in HubSpot, or multiple cells or row. Multiple columns in HubSpot. So we call it in Excel, it's almost like cells. So yeah, files, design tools. So you look you go to the theme that you're working on. You go to, like, if I'm using Fina, you go to the module folder, right click, new file, and then choose module. You choose where you want to put where your module is going to be used, and then you give it a name. Let's say card multiple items, for instance, the item columns. Item columns. So you create. Okay, so we have it like that. So div. So what you're gonna do, so multiple column is almost like exactly the same like this one here. So we're gonna copy the one that we have here, then we modify, we copy this one here, we remove modules. I just so copy, I just make it a new one. So let's say you have div class, and then after that we have card multi items columns, card multi item columns. You copy it. Okay, we paste here. So now let's say, for instance, in this example, can you have a heading? So in this example, we want to have a heading like we had it here in the container. So we're gonna only focus on the rows only. We're gonna focus only here, not the container, but we're gonna just have to, let's just put the container there. So container. So we have container here. So there's our container. So copy. So we have to give it a container class. It's gonna be background. What is that gonna be? Max width. Yeah, give it a max width of 1024, for instance, pixel, and then margin 0 auto. Is this one that's gonna bring our content in the middle, or row or content in the middle. Okay, so now we need to put the row now inside. The row, as you can see, must always follow the naming convention like that. So you have the name of the modules and follow with double dash. Everything is going to be double hyphens, double hyphen and stuff. You add your whatever class you're going to want to add there. This must stay like that. Okay, so we have row. So copy, paste here, a row. So we have row like that. So it's gonna be display grid, then grid template. Let's say also the same thing, one FL, and then okay. So we have it like that. You can see, copy, then paste. We're gonna call it those cells. We call them, let's say, for instance, items. Those columns. So we have two item 1, item 2. Double clone it again. beautify it a bit. We beautify this one here. And then it's gonna be 3 and 4. Okay, so publish. Let's preview here. Preview. You can see the item like this. So we want them to have columns there. So row. We have items, columns, and row. Let's see. They're supposed to create template columns. Yes, there you go. So now we want to put some gap there. So grid gap, 20 pixel, put some gap between. Yes. So this one we have gap there. So now the way that we have it like this. So now what we were trying to do is, if we try to beautify it, you can see we have a lot of columns there. The way that we have a lot of columns, we don't want it to create like column left to column right, and then you go there. For instance, I go to column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. It's going to be too much. So we're going to use something called in HubSpot a repeater. So the way that a repeater works, okay, yeah. So let's say for instance here we have so yeah, so it's the stuff. So the way the repeater work. So we're gonna create a field here. We'll call this one. Let's make sure this one here is called. So yeah. So add fields, rich text. No, instead of rich text, let's call it. We're gonna use single line, simple text. Let's just say text. Yeah. So we're gonna use a text here. I'm gonna just give you kind of like an example. Let's say in this H1, let's say for instance this H3 with heading, heading card 1, and then we have paragraph, some specific design paragraph, with description for instance, description. And then when we have this one like this, it's gonna repeat it in this way. So you have cut 4, cut 3, cut 2, and then if you want to preview it, it looks like this. So now, because of we do not want to have a lot of fields here, so the way that we do it, so we're gonna use something in HubSpot called a repeater. So the way that the repeater works, so we add one field here, copy, group, select, you select like this, create group. We call this one, for instance, like card items. So now inside card items, the first element here is heading card 1. So we're gonna just call this one heading. So we have heading, copy this one here. It's gonna be our heading, remove one. So heading, I'm gonna change this one here. Let's always make sure that they are variable. Sometimes when you're putting your things here, the text that sometimes it does change here, sometimes it doesn't change. So if it doesn't change, you must come here and then change the text nicely. It must always be lowercase. If there is space here, let's for instance, if there is like heading title, it must be like this. So yeah, so we have heading card, and then we need paragraph. So again, text. So description, add description there. It's gonna be description, This will add a description. These changes. Yeah, so this is the basics. So this is the way that you do put this description. So now how you do it, you come inside here, you can see there is a lot of features, but here we're going to focus on the repeat options. You can see what is a repeater. Oh, sorry, what's a repeater? So what are repeaters? Repeaters are fields and groups that can create multiple objects and display them using a for loop. Examples might include a gallery of multiple sites, a collection of testimonials, a group of staff headshots. Still curious to learn more about repeaters? So here is where they are showing you more about repeaters. You click, you're gonna go to a page where they're gonna show you more about repeaters. So here, yeah, you're gonna find more about repeater in the HubSpot. Take a repeater. Yeah, so it's gonna just have to look for it here because HubSpot a lot of documentation comes to Abo Code where you're gonna get repeaters. I don't see it here, but you're gonna have to search for it there. So okay, so now here's our repeater. There's a repeater. You need to enable it. So here object count limit. So enter value from 0 to 1. So let's say we put 0. If you don't want, yeah, 0. Default count, maximum count is like if you want your in the page editor, you must only limit the number of items to certain value, and the letter, for instance, it mustn't be more than 12 items. And then the default here is 4 because we're working on 4, but it can be more. That's why we call it multiple items. It's gonna be more, and the limit is going to be 12. So, but the default here, you can put 2, 4 or something like that. Okay, so now we have this one there. So we have it there. So how do you use it? So here we have object sorting label. When sorting a collection of objects, this label will be used to indicate which is which. Yeah, this one is going to help you a lot. I'm going to show how this is going to help. So publish changes. So here you copy. So but now for this one here, you're gonna have to copy snippet instead of value only. Copy snippet. So now once you copy snippet, what we're going to do, we're gonna come here as has been stated here that a repeater are field and group that can be create multiple object and display. Repeaters are fields and groups that can create multiple objects and display them using a for loop. So we're using a for loop here. We paste. Yeah, as you can see, we don't need this one here. We just need a value because those ones they come with their own HTML tag. We don't want the HTML tag. We want our HTML tag. We don't want the absolute default HTML tag. So okay, so this is gonna repeat. As you can see, if we publish, for instance, here we do preview, I'm gonna see the stuff is repeating there. The one that we created is repeating there. If I want to add, duplicate, it says repeating there. So now we have to beautify them like this. So the way that you do it is we copy one example, we put them inside, and then you copy the heading, you replace like this, description, copy the heading, you replace like this, and then we don't need, oh sorry, and then we don't need those ones anymore. Delete. So we don't need this one anymore. Okay, so we don't need this one anymore. Okay, so now, okay, so what is the next step here? Okay, so we don't need this one anymore. So we publish, and then as you can see, cut because it's 5. Now we're gonna clone. So we're adding more. We say our limit was, the limit we say 12. Let's go. See, as we reach the limit of 12, you can see we cannot add anymore. So the other limits that we're talking about here for 0. Okay, let me just say limit here. Let's say for instance 2, minimum 2. If we try to we start to delete the stuff, then delete. So once you delete, as you can see here, there is no delete button anymore. So because of the minimum item need to be always 2. So if you want to make it 0, and then you're gonna be see the 0. So now you delete everything, and then here you can add items again. Yeah, so sometimes when you're coming here to change data, next, change data, so you can see you can add more, you can go through data, changing them, you can change. Yeah, so this is the way that you navigate through that. So this is the way of creating multiple cells in HubSpot module. Use the module called repeater. So this is the way that you set it up. Okay. Thank you so much.